I'd like to welcome all of you here and to meet the Honorable Stewart Jones, legislator in the House of Representatives of the great state of South Carolina. And I'll let him tell you why he's here.
Thank you, Professor Livingston. It's an incredible honor to be here with everybody today. I'm Representative Stewart Jones. I represent Laurens and Greenwood counties in South Carolina. That's House District 14. And to tell you a little bit about myself real quickly, I am a writer. I've written pieces for the Foundation of Economic Education and also Abbeville Institute. I come from the land of Ann Pamela Cunningham and John C. Calhoun. To tell you a little bit about this. So in 1810, John C. Calhoun was elected to U.S. Congress to serve Abbeville, Laurens, and Newberry. My ancestors voted for John C. Calhoun. And so thank you, yes. Yeah, we need more John C. Calhouns, without a doubt. Watching what has happened around our country, and especially what happened last year, there were over 200 monuments, memorials, statues to American heroes like John C. Calhoun that were taken down. It's a crime what has happened. And we are reversing this trend. I want to let you know I'm working on some really just critical, very important things right now where we're going to put the left, we're going to put the woke culture, we're going to put them on the defense. We're no longer on the defense, we're going on the offense. John C. Calhoun, of course, he said, one of my favorite John C. Calhoun quotes is when he said that it is harder to preserve than to obtain liberty. It's harder to preserve than to obtain liberty. And what he was talking about exactly what the Abbeville Institute does. And people like Dr. Clyde Wilson. If you know Dr. Clyde Wilson, which I'm sure you do, and I've got a collection of these at my home. This is one of my personal books, the John C. Calhoun Papers. There's 28 volumes of these books. I thought about bringing all of them and stacking them up here to show you just how many books there are. But it's the documents, it's the communication of John C. Calhoun during his entire political career, over 40 years. One of my favorite books here, and I'll tell you this real quick. This was by Dr. Clyde Wilson. This is The Essential Calhoun. And this takes a lot of Calhoun's quotes, a lot of the most critically important parts of Calhoun's speeches, everything he said and did during his time. I'm going to read an excerpt from this book. And this is Dr. Clyde Wilson. He says, in a pretty extensive publishing career that is far nearer its completion than its beginning, and it's not. He's written so much more since then. Let me tell you, this is in 1999 that he wrote this piece. The Essential Calhoun is the most satisfying thing that I have done. The book that I would most like to see disseminated widely and to endure. The opportunity that I have had to present this great man to history has been unique and will never be repeated. In 1980, Dr. Clyde Wilson, he also, another one of my favorite books, Why the South Will Survive. A group of agrarians, a group of Southerners came together and wrote a book all about the South, about why the South will survive. I'm going to read another piece a quote by Dr. Clyde Wilson in here. And this is on defining the South. He says, I would define the South as an inherited way of life expressed in a number of cultural and personality characteristics that are spontaneously shared to a greater or lesser degree by a substantial number of inhabitants of the United States. This way of life correlates with a particular history and geography, but has an independent existence. he talks about how there's many definitions of the South given by these authors in this book in their various stories. And he continues on, he says, the answer, they said, was already given in the South. It did not have to be invented. It had only to be recognized, participated in, and preserved. Now, when John C. Calhoun passed away, one of the last things he said, the South, oh, the South, what will become of her? He foresaw so many things that have come to be that we've seen today. He understood limited government. He was the second generation of the founders, if you think about it. John C. Calhoun is the firewall to Jefferson and Washington. And I would argue that Dr. Clyde Wilson is the firewall to the South. And so, Dr. Wilson, if you could come here for a moment, if you could come up front with me. Sir, I want to thank you for your many years of service to the state of South Carolina and to the South in general, and everything you have written. It's because of you that we can know the truth of our history, that we can know the truth of people like John C. Calhoun. It's why they're going to continue. We're going to continue these ideas. It's why this past year on the state budget, we had 3 nullification bills that nullified masks, vaccines. They nullified federal infringements on our Second Amendment. And so today, Dr. Wilson, I want to present you here with a resolution. This is from the South Carolina House of Representatives. We commend your service, and we thank you from the bottom of our heart, sir. Thank you for everything you've done for the South. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Thank you. Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.